Hi there everyone. So in this video we're going to be speaking about carer's allowance. Now a lot of the information for carer's allowance is accessible on gov.uk if you have the internet and that's searchable by Google. There's also plenty of information about it on Citizens Advice's own website. But just to go through the general basics of eligibility for carer's allowance. So you would obviously have to be living with someone that you cared for, although not necessarily, but that person should be receiving either personal independence payment, a disability living allowance, or the constant attendance allowance, or the attendance allowance. So it needs to be a person in receipt of a disability benefit. The type of care that you would need to provide for that person, you would need to spend at least 35 hours a week caring for that person, and this would include help such as hand washing and cooking, taking that person to doctor's appointments and helping them with other household tasks. For yourself, alongside that, you would also have to be 16 or over, and you would have to be able to show that 35 hours a week was spent caring for somebody. You would not have to be in full-time education, and you would have to be earning less than £128 a week after tax, national insurance and expenses if you are working. Now, carer's allowance counts as a form of income for income-based benefits. That is to say, if you're already on universal credit, the amount of carer's allowance that you receive will balance out the universal credit's payments. So for every £1 of carer's allowance you receive, £1 of universal credit will be deducted. So if you receive carer's allowance, this will actually override to a certain extent the carer's element already included in universal credit, and the result will be that you should not notice any particular loss of money in your bank account, but there will be no particular gain either. Now, for those of you living in Scotland, you would be entitled to the carer's allowance supplement from the Scottish Government. And generally speaking, this is a twice annually payment paid generally in April and in December. And you can apply for that through the Scottish Government at the same time that you're getting the carer's allowance and become eligible for that. And even if you apply after the cut-off dates for the carer's allowance supplement, carer's allowance itself can be backdated to the point where the care was required. Now, if this backdating is successful and puts you within the cut-off date for the carer's allowance supplement, it will mean that you would then receive your payment of £230 for that time of the year. So in total, the additional supplement for people living in Scotland would be £460.20 per year if they applied for the carer's allowance supplement alongside carer's allowance. So if you have any particular issues in applying for, or you'd like to apply for carer's allowance, obviously speak to your advisor about that. Applications can be made in paper and online, and they will be able to decide, is taking carer's allowance the correct route for yourself, or do you want to perhaps look at something else? Is the carer's element of universal credit actually the ideal way to go about your caring needs? All of these can be considered with your advisor. So have an opportunity to speak to your advisor about that before you make any application. Don't worry about it, and above all, stay safe.